General semantics, then, we're going to talk about as a system of evaluation, a tool for sizing things up. What could be simpler? A tool that presumably, if you work at it, it ain't going to do anything for you. But if you work at it, you may find that you develop an increasing ability to self-challenge, to evaluate your own evaluations, and in the process perhaps become more and more of what we like to think of as a human being. Fairly reasonable, somewhat kind, a time binder who isn't willing or isn't unwilling to help other folks out. We call it a system, and by a system, all I'm going to mean in this context is an organized, self-consistent set of statements, period. Nothing could be almost more abrasively simple than that. A set of related statements that are self-consistent. We claim that general semantics constitutes a system in that sense. General semantics is non-essentialist. Put that on the board. Oh, there's strong. And again, I've learned to emphasize this after doing this, working with people for many years now, because sometimes it seems to me that people seem to develop the notion, and this is not hung high, so you may well, you're familiar. How many have ever seen a representation like this called the structural differential? Everybody's familiar with this. Okay? No. Yeah, fine. So you can imagine what's down the bottom, which is the higher orders of abstracting and all that stuff. Very often, I have found that people are quite good at working at recognizing that how they verbalize should not be confused with the nonverbal experiences that they have. We say the map is not the territory. All of your formulations, although they might be accurate, they might fit the territory well, they should never be identified with or confused with the territory. That's all identity means, or it's essentially what it means. It's a tendency to confuse our mapping with whatever it is that we're mapping. Well, most people get that pretty well, I think. What seems a lot harder is to recognize that the nonverbal experiences are not it either. Your nonverbal experiences are your nonverbal experiences, but they ain't the territory either, in the sense of extraneural space and all that jazz. All right? Non-essentialist. Sometimes people who study general semantics seem to feel that, well, if I can scrape away all of this mistaken formulating that I've been doing for so many years, and I've adopted so many systems, which I now recognize are poor mappings. If I can do that, then I will be open to seeing it like it is. And it's been a source of some dismay to me. I have to admit that, quite frankly, that people who've studied for a long time a discipline which says such outlandish things as whatever you say a thing is, it is not, seem to still keep coming up with this business of, oh yeah, I know my verbalizing is all, that can't be the experience. But if I'm quiet and remain open, then I will experience the naked it. Well, I'm here to say that at least my approach to general semantics is that if you study the discipline and work at it, you will come to recognize that there's no escape from your own abstracting in the ways that we will define abstracting as we go along. As far as I know, you cannot leap out of yourself as an abstracting nervous system. It's a kind of imprisonment, but it makes for an exciting life, because recognizing that you are thus imprisoned, you can spend a lot of time trying to make contact with your fellow human beings, who are also abstracting more or less desperately, but who may also be looking for contact. Even if you recognize that the contact you experience is necessarily your own experience, that doesn't diminish the experience.